players, like, we forfeit. So then I contacted SOL. I was like, we're going to get into the game now. And they're like, well, we just put our bot lane in solo queue. And so they're getting queued up. So then there's a whole thing with the other guys wanting them to be DQ'd and stuff like that. So it was just the whole thing. But then it turned out that the bot lane was able to dodge. So we're good.
So we're here.
We're good.
We're going to play League of Legends.
No one's mad. No one's mad. No one's upset. So we got some good bands coming out. We got Heimerdinger. We got Karma. Really, really strong bands.
Great bands. Heimerdinger.
Heimerdinger, his damage early game is just phenomenal to the point where he will one-shot you with full AD runes.
Basically, I mean, he can actually go support runes if he just gets like max gold per second. You know, you get like an. But we do see more serious bans coming down from the blue team. Of course, Draven, great, just fantastic AD carry, of course, to have.
Right.
The Jace, like you were saying earlier, he was kind of changed recently, and then of course the Zac, which we saw last game, destructive.
Right.
Truly destructive, and a Galio ban. Not so sure what's going on.
Not so sure what's going on with SOI's ban. Their bans were a lot more serious last game, but maybe they feel like they're just gonna. Maybe they just face rolled the last game. Maybe they're like, we're just gonna face roll another game. But LZH or I don't even know how to say
I'm gonna say that's Lazuru
or just Zurhura. We'll ask them
Zuruha.
if they after this game, we'll ask them. We'll say how do we pronounce the game, or I'll ask them when we're loading in. Shit, I don't have blockers on right now. This is bad. I didn't have blockers on.
Ta-da!
I didn't have blockers on. I'm sorry. We have blockers on now. I didn't because I take them off once the 3-minute break starts. But yeah, nothing really too revealing came out there. Normal summoner spells were there, but we got him up now, so no more sniping as it is. Nunu didn't get banned, so he's immediately picked up. Immediately picked up. He is a very, very strong jungler. He's gonna destroy that jungle. Shen
I'm surprised
again.
There's the Nunu there.
Shen and Thresh again for SOI are picked up. Maybe they're gonna run the same exact comp, except they don't have the Zac pick available because that did get banned. Now we're seeing McGee and Revenge Bunny going to be picking up. I feel like we've seen Revenge Bunny in one of the tournaments. I feel like LZH has been in our tournaments before, because I remember Revenge Bunny. He's going to maybe pick up that Singed in the top lane. Singed is annoying as hell, and he's going to be a really, really strong pickup against the Shen.
Blitzcrank against that Thresh support is going to be very interesting as well.
Yeah, because like, he goes in and he's winding up for his hook. He's standing still for that half a second.
You can just easily grab him.
Blitzcrank is just going to grab him, and so he's going to get pulled towards Blitzcrank, so then the ally is going to get pulled towards Blitzcrank as well, so it's just going to be one big safety net.
Xerath pick possibly coming down for purple team. Xerath with his long range can be very, very
effective, and he can
definitely
stun out that Singed from being able to just run in and face roll your team. They got a lot of really hard CC coming out. They've got the Thresh box, I consider hard CC since it's almost a stun, and then you got the hook, you got the flay, you got the taunt, you got the stun, and then you got the stun from Xerath. So you got a hard CC on every single person that's gonna be able to stop that Singe from just being able to just pop his Insanity Potion and Ghost and just run straight into your face and just annoy you for days on end.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to make sure that all that can kind of come together and stay fluid. Right. Of course, we do see the Xerath pick changing to the Karthus. Very, very strong mid laner, and if he's left alone in his lane alone, he'll be able to just farm up, get tons of creeps, be able to, get as many items.
I'm interested to see what summoner spells he does take, because a lot of Karthuses like to run teleport, a lot of like to run exhaust. I know Phantom Lord is very well known for running his revive teleport, and he does phenomenally. He mains Karthus, and he does really, really well with that. And I love watching him play Karthus, even though I hate watching Karthus usually, but Phantom Lord makes it very interesting. Maybe a Kassadin pick up against this Karthus. That's going to be huge because Karthus relies on the
Morgana
the Qs to be able to do a ton of damage, and if Karthus can silence that for 3 seconds, but it doesn't take off the Karthus E. So if he activates his E and then Kassadin jumps in, it won't be stopping that damage. Lux is very good. Karthus is very squishy. He doesn't usually build the Zanyas. He doesn't usually build his Zanyas because he's got basically a 7-second Zanyas after he's dead, and he's usually going suicide, or yeah, that's basically what he does. So
Lux being able to keep that range away.
And again, someone on the enemy team is going to pick up a teleport against this Shen, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. And we see a Tristana pick.
Tristana.
Last time they had the Varus, which worked very, very well, actually. He was able to kind of pick off people from a far distance as they were just barely escaping with just a tad bit of health. He was able to just pick them up with his Q, and sometimes even with his ultimate.
Yes.
But with
I was
Tristana,
surprised
of course,
they were going to go with that Varus
well.
again. That Varus last time was really, really strong.
Yeah, definitely.
And it wasn't banned out, and it would be. I would say it'd be pretty. I guess this is because they were up against a Kog'Maw, and Kog'Maw with his range, you need someone to be able to keep that range up there, and to have someone to escape from Blitzcrank grabs. So I guess that was the threat there.
Something very strong they had last game was the Zed as well.
They have a lot of catch potential on this team. They have Singed able to catch. They have Lux with their Q. Even Kog'Maw with his really, really heavy slow is going to allow someone to land their skill shot.
It'll make it very easy for Blitzcrank to be able to pick it up. Of course, them being in the same lane together, it'll be very, very good for them.
Yes. It is going to be Nunu jungle against an Elise again. Bella's going to be picking up that Elise again. It was really, really strong on her last game as well. But Nunu, they're going to have to watch for that early game, because Nunu jungle early game is just destructive to the point of you want to cry.
Oh, most definitely.
But then once you get later game, he just becomes tank. He does almost no damage. His ultimate is basically all he's got for damage, and it's just...
His ultimate can really disrupt a team fight, though.
It can.
If you're not careful, if he's hiding in that brush...
If he doesn't have any AP, though, it usually late game with resistances and whatnot, it'll only pretty much do a good amount of damage to the carries. And I mean, yeah, that's a really good thing. Sometimes all that matters. Yeah, sometimes that's a really good thing. But if the carry can just jump out and life steal up from an 800 attack damage range like Tristana, it's not that bad of a deal. Or if you want to die on Karthus, not that bad of a deal. Oh yes, we can actually take off the blockers so you can see what spells they're going to be running. They've got a teleport on the Singe, so you can follow Shen down, or you can actually just flip him away and then teleport down.
Lots of exhausts.
2 exhausts coming out for the side of SOI. Karthus is going to pick up that exhaust. It's, like I said, it's a very good pickup on him. Barrier in the mid lane for Lux. Against the Karthus ultimate.
I think it's actually
2 barriers.
It's good. Of course, you can kind of block against any last minute, Q damage coming down from the Karthus as well as the ultimate.
Picked up on it. Pretty much Nunu is the only one who's really unsafe against the Karthus ultimate, because you think about it, Singed can heal up really fast with his ultimate. Lux is gonna have her shield and her barrier, and her shield's gonna be really good against shielding maybe Nunu or Singed. Barrier on Kog'Maw, and then Blitzcrank with his mana shield. So every single person on their team kind of has something to be able to deter the Karthus ultimate from finishing them off like you'd really like them to. Yes. So,
and of course, Singed, for the most part, he will go for like that Zeref's Embrace, so he will have that shield coming into more later game.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, like you were saying, tons of shields coming down.
Tons of shields.
And it'll basically make that Karthus ult almost obsolete. And, that's going to make it very, very tough for Purple Team. Mm-hmm. And we'll have to see how they adapt. They're going to have to definitely keep track of the timings of those summoners. And if they can, the abilities, of course, they can be shorter. So
especially Lux wanting to build that CDR. So we're going to get into this game right quick. If you guys haven't heard, we're going to be doing giveaways at the end of the stream. If we have 25 viewers, we need 25 people on here. Whoop, that's my bad. 25 people on here. If you want to be entered in the giveaway, you must be a follower. So please be a follower, and then we'll do that at the end of the stream. 25 people. That's all we need. 25 people viewing the stream. Tell anyone you want. Tell everyone. It's after the tournament, after we give out the prizes, and then we will do that. So please stick with us till the very end, and we will definitely be getting into that. There's a lot more in store for True Damage Gaming. Don't you worry. We'll be doing a lot of fun stuff over the summer. If you guys have any ideas, message us on League, message us on Twitch. Do whatever you need to do.
Just get in contact with us.
I don't think I've not responded to one person, so...
We try to kind of keep open arms with everything, so...
Yes, we respond to pretty much everyone, so... Yeah. We want input. We want to know what people want, because, of course, we're 2 17-year-olds trying to...
just kind of have fun, basically.
Yeah. So we want to do whatever you guys want is fun. Obviously, as long as it doesn't cost us $300 a week.
We're open to most suggestions.
Yes.
So, I would like to be able to look at these skins, because
this
obviously
is where
we saw the skin
SOI,
advantage.
Yeah. The skin advantage meant the victory. So, On the side of blue team, we have Blitzcrank, Lion Dance Kog'Maw, and you got Sasquatch Nunu. Three skins that are actually pretty uncommon. Then on the other side, you have the TPA Shen, and okay, I was gonna say if that was just Riot Girl Tristana, we weren't gonna count it. But Rocket Girl Tristana, we will count that skin. So it's 3-3. It's gonna be a very even game. And I was gonna go on like coolness of the skins, but Phantom Karthus in honor of Phantom Lord, and I just said I loved Phantom Lord. Rocket Girl Tristana, very cool skin. TPA Shen, very new. Blitzcrank in honor of the Mac. Lion Dance Kog'Maw is one of the coolest Kog'Maw skins, and Sasquatch Nunu is very it's not seen very often. It's usually the Nunu bot. The most annoying skin in the game. That is always,
definitely with his last.
That always comes out, yes.
So here we go. We're going to move around to these champion little faces so that we can get a good idea as to who's against who.
Spotlight. Sponsored by Nunu Bot. Something like that.
All right, so we do see everyone moving down. We see some pings going down from both teams. It looks like we're going to have a little bit of actually some jungle action here. We might get an early first blood if they do end up meeting. But
yes, I think it's going to be on the side of that Nunu going for an early invade with his
we can
600 damage
Purple
consumed.
Team staying very, very close together, though, as Purple Team kind of is spreading out. So it's going to be very dangerous for them. We can see Nunu and Singe going up towards that tri-bush. They're going to be very careful. If Purple Team can catch them off, they're going to be in huge trouble.
SOI
Lux, of course,
last
heading
game,
up there as well.
they did something just like this. They did a little circle around the enemy buff. And then they ended up picking up the kill later on. They go through, they put down a ton of wards, and then once that enemy is coming in there, they bring their mid lane down, and they bring their jungler down, and they just pick up a first blood really, really easily. Nunu is actually going in with Singed, and he might be going for the enemy red buff. He has Smite that does, I'm pretty sure, 490 at level 1, correct me if I'm wrong. 490 at level 1, and he has a 600 damage consumed. So he has almost 1,000 damage, or he does have 1,000 damage in Smite, in true damage, so he's going to be able to take something down really fast if he needs to. SOI is getting spotted out by that ward put down right there from Blitzcrank. I wouldn't expect him to go for much of a grab right now because that would be very, very dangerous.
If he reveals himself, he's going to be in a huge amount of trouble.
Yeah,
they do not want to get into a 5v2 right now.
I think Blitzcrank was standing over near the turret in case anyone walked over near golems, and they would just pick him from there. That would have been a really, really good pick, actually. Nunu is actually up here with Lux and Singe, going to easily be able to pick up his own buff. Actually, Shen and Elise are going to roam back down. It might be a 3v2 up in the red brush. You see Nunu, they've spotted out Nunu. They're going to walk into the bush. I think they might just disengage because Nunu doesn't have anything but his consume up first. Lux throwing in her light binding, misses out both people. Singe's poison doing a little bit of disruption. Nunu going to come in, probably just consume that away. Elise, I wouldn't try to outsmite that. Wait, was that Nunu's? That was Nunu's
does
smite.
Get that.
It was Nunu's smite. Okay, no, I saw a smite. And I was like, wait, did Elise smite that early? That would have been a really big misplay. But no, she does use her, Elise did not use her smite there. She actually left a minion at the red buff. She'll probably clear that out a little bit later so that Nunu doesn't have the cooldown on the timer on it. That's actually kind of a smart play. She's roaming in towards Nunu's blue buff. Maybe going to try to look for a smite there. Because she knows that Nunu only has his consume up. That's still going to be a lot more damage than her ignite, or her smite is. But we'll have to see what happens there. Little aggression going into the top lane. Not too much damage going on to either people. Singe is actually almost out of mana. Lux and Karthus going at it too. Everyone just seems to be really enraged at each other right now.
Lots of aggression coming down. We do see the Threshold being able to pick up that Kog'Maw. Tristana be able to deal tons of damage to that Kog'Maw. Will he be able to make it away? He does get the Ignite on him. It looks like he'll be able to just kind of walk away barely with that. Blitzcrank.
The exhaust is really good coming out from Blitzcrank. Getting that attack speed slow, so Tristana didn't really get many autos down. Elise is just going to hug up here in the top lane. She doesn't even have a single buff yet. She smites down the cannon minion. I don't really know what's going on here. Nunu sees her up in the top lane. That might just tell him...
He might be able to take her blue buff, actually, in the end.
Who did pick up the blue buff? The blue buff's gone.
I believe that actually might have gone down to the Karthus.
So literally she has no buffs to take.
Yes.
She's literally just going to duo top.
She's farming up top right now. She's actually taking turret shots, which I don't understand why.
Maybe she's really, really mad.
She could be very upset.
Nunu coming into the mid lane, Defile goes down as well as the lay waste. Nunu might be able to pick this one up. If Lux comes in with a good Lucent Singularity, the flash comes out from Karthus. And not
barely making it away.
Barely.
Lots of pressure coming on to the Singed. I'm not exactly sure why Elise is just staying up top. We can see her starting to back off now. Hopefully she'll go back to her jungle and
because she was so behind on jungling and you can't really solo any big camps at level 1, even level 2 it's kind of hard without Smite. I feel like she just needed to go get a little bit of experience from the top lane, push it out, press her Singed a little bit, and now she's just going to go back to her routine. Probably power level up once she the second round of buffs come up. Maybe don't give away the second blue buff to Karthus and just take that one for herself so that she can have a little bit of potential to be strong. Elise gets really strong as it is no matter what. I was casting a game earlier this week and Elise came into the game, I think it was 12 minutes late, and they still won the game.
Did Elise actually have a large impact on the game? We do actually see a Threshold coming in on the Kog'Maw. He does go in on him. Tristan trying to deal tons of damage. The exhaust going on the Kog'Maw, be able to slow him down. The barrier coming out as well, though, barely saving his life. Nunu coming in, trying to throw some ice balls at Tristan. Engage back on them, but they will not be able to do it. A good, clean engage and disengage.
So we have a question, or we have a comment in the chat. Thresh versus Blitz, who will be the best support in this game?
It's going to come down to, I think, how much CC support that their team will be able to give them.
I feel like...
Go ahead.
I feel like, well, as you saw in that engagement, Thresh has been hitting hooks all the time, but as soon as he hits a hook, he becomes blind and he doesn't pay attention to where Blitzcrank is, and Blitzcrank usually lands a pull on him, and he pulled him into the tower this time. So I think if Thresh can pay attention to not only landing the hooks, but keeping an eye on Blitzcrank throughout the entire engagement, then I feel like he might be the better support, because Kog'Maw just seems to be standing right in front of his creeps and not really paying attention to where those Thresh hooks are coming from. But other than that, I don't know, the travel time on Blitzcranks is obviously faster, so it's going to be harder for Tristana to dodge, but Tristana does have a better dodge with her rocket jump than Kog'Maw with dying.
Yeah, and, that's another thing. Tristana can disengage from anything kind of more easily, as opposed to Kog'Maw, who just has...
Who needs that Blitzcrank there to help her disengage.
Exactly. Most definitely, and we actually see a lot of aggression coming down onto the Nunu. He's trying to do a little bit of poking there, but at least being able to go up with her repel, and she actually is now getting focused down big time by that Lux and Nunu. She does have to pop her flash over the wall. Now, Karth is taking some of the damage, and will he be able to walk out? It does not look like it. He's just being perma-slowed basically by this Nunu, who will be able to actually get away. That Ice Ball doing tons of damage. He almost makes it, but Nunu being able to flash in at the last second, take down Karth. Elise trying to deal with enough damage to take him down, but Lux being able to pop a quick few.
Great plays there. Nunu was very safe because he knew that he had to consume. He had consumed, so Elise just immediately tried to focus in on the Lux, but Nunu actually decided not to consume and just continue to focus down the Elise instead. So really good team plays there. I do feel like they do need to back off there, or otherwise they might just get Karthus ulted in the next few seconds once Karthus comes back and gets his last little bit of XP. Yeah, and now in the bot lane, we see not too much of any sort of lead going on. We do see that there is a little bit of a farm lead in favor of Kog'Maw, but not too much. 2-0 in kills, 2,000 gold lead. A good hook coming in on the Thresh, though. Blitzcrank is showing to be the better support right now. Kog'Maw putting a bunch of that % damage in onto Thresh, but not quite enough to be able to pick up the kill quite yet. I feel like Kog'Maw needs his ultimates before he's going to be doing any sort of killing in this lane.
Like I was trying to say earlier, I think I was kind of interrupted by that low engage we had in mid. Kog'Maw doesn't have much of a disengage as opposed to Tristana, so if Thresh is able to, hook in, get on Kog'Maw, flame away from Blitzcrank, throw down his box, Kog'Maw is going to have a heck of a hard time trying to get away from that. As opposed to Tristana, where Blitzcrank pulls her in, knocks her up, she can just basically rocket jump away, and then she's
and then flash if she needs to.
And of course, there is the Thresh Lantern as well for that additional shield, as well as her own barrier. So, I mean, Tristana should be A-okay for any engages, unless, more are there other than just Blitzcrank Kog'Maw to kind of keep her on lockdown.
What division are these teams in? I don't know about LZH, but I do know that SOI, they have a couple Diamond 1 players. So these are some pretty high up teams. These tournaments are open to anyone, but these just happen to be high up teams. You see in the bot lane, Kog'Maw finally gets the Living Artillery and picks up a kill. The pull coming in onto Tristana, and as you said, immediately rocket jumps away. That escape is there. Doesn't even take half of her hit points. So as at the same time in the top lane, Shen did catch out. I do believe it was Elise maybe, or it was Singed or someone, but nothing really happened up there. It is very critical. Now you see Absolute Zero coming in onto Elise doing a good amount of damage. This is a 2v2 up in this top lane. Are they going to dive into the turret? It looks like they will not. Singed and Nunu not really wanting to do that. Although their team is ahead, it's not really them themselves that are ahead. There's no really big engage. A flash pull coming in, but Tristana is able to use her jump again. So Tristana still doesn't burn any of her summoners actually. Putting a bunch of damage. Finally, the ult comes out from Tristana as well as the Shen ult. Hook coming in on the Blitzcrank. Shen shows up, misses the taunt because Thresh pulls him past, but it looks like it will be an easy pickup. Blitz actually almost burst down the Tristana. So, now a good engage coming in on Elise. Lux just gonna laser over the wall and pick that one up silently. Dead Robots apparently says that LZH is a sponsored team, so these guys are pretty big.
So, you know, if they get upset right here by
maybe
possible loss, this could be interesting.
Maybe SOI would get sponsored. Maybe if they lose it. Maybe, I don't know. We love it.
It could be very, very interesting. Yeah, you know, of course, I love seeing high-ranking teams come in to play our games.
Yes, Nunu is a very, very prime ban in all ELOs, all rankings, and whatnot. He was banned out in the first game, but you saw SOI, I think, got a little bit too confident, and they just kind of did some trolly bans with the Heimerdinger, Karma, Galio, so I feel like they should have taken advantage and probably banned out the Nunu and maybe even the Singed. I don't know. You don't really expect a Singed, but maybe Blitzcrank, because Blitzcrank people don't really like. I don't mind a Blitzcrank. It's easy to dodge hooks for me. But Karthus coming in to help out with his Dragon. It's a 4-man stack on this Dragon. The teleport is coming in from the top lane. Singed, Blitzcrank, and Kog'Maw are going to be down here. The hook does not land onto Elise. They do not find their target. Now they're going to move on to the Dragon, possibly, and pick this one up. No, they're going to continue to run down. Banana Bush has been warded. They're going to continue to do the Dragon. Percent health coming out from Kog'Maw, doing a bunch of damage onto that as well. And
Nunu coming down, just kind of finish that up real quick. And that was pretty much completely uncontested Dragon for the most part. You know, being able to pick that up and that additional gold. Not quite as much a gold lead as we were seeing, of course, last game.
Yes.
You know, we were seeing, you know, up in I believe
20,000. It was at the end of the game. It was 23 minutes in.
So this is definitely a much more close game. I do see in the chat. LZH is an esports group. Yes, the robots, you most likely did recognize the name somewhere, and I did just check out their page. So apparently they are pretty well known.
Wow.
So
I actually feel honored for having someone like that in our tournaments. I feel honored, actually.
But it does look like they are going to pick up this turret. Of course, we see the Nunu, Blitzcrank, and Kog'Maw picking that one up. Shen trying to do a little bit of poking coming out of the Singed, but the Singed, of course, is going to be tricky because if he gets too close, he'll be able to throw you over his back with his fling and deal actually.
He's running up there. He's trying. He's trying.
Instead, he's just going to turn back around and do what a Singed does and farm using his poison gas.
It's farm. That's all Singed needs to do.
Basically, he just pushes to your tower and the minions take it down eventually.
Yeah, he never hits the tower. He just runs behind it. Pops his ultimate if he needs to. Singed is annoying, but he's fun. Singed is a really fun character to play. Lux coming in. She's trying to do trying to put a good amount of poke onto this Karthus. She does get a good amount of damage. Poop ton of movement speed coming in from Nunu. The Lux ultimate as well as the hook. Lux ultimate did land before the hook was able to pull him in, and then he's going to be taken down. But now Blitzcrank is caught under the turret, and now she's taken down as well. Or excuse me, Blitzcrank was taken down. I couldn't even remember who it was. It was really bad on my part. It was really bad. I was like, every fight happening, champions.
At least he was able to dodge that the Nunu absolute zero at the last moment with a repel.
That's just.
But the ice ball was able to pick her up at the last.
Yeah, that was just. Why am I blank for words right now?
Because you're a fool.
I'm terrible at this.
Why did we do this? Nunu being able to steal that blue buff. Just stealing all the buffs basically from Elise's side of the jungle.
The only buff that SOI has gotten this entire game was the first blue buff on the Karthus, so it didn't even help out the jungler at all. Elise is so far behind. She's only level 6, opposed to Nunu's level 9.
You know, we do see some higher levels on SOI's side as well. Of course, we see Shen and Karthus, which is, you know, that's good as well. And, you know, Kog'Maw, of course, being level 8.
Even Shen and Karthus are a level behind their opposing.
That's always true. So they are behind.
They're still behind their lane partners. So
it's going to be rough.
It's going to be a rough.
It's definitely doable. They're not that far behind, of course.
They're not as far behind.
The further it gets into the late game, the more either the gap will open or close. And of course, once everyone reaches level 18, it's just going to be down to the items and to the plays that can be put together by the team.
Right.
So, I'm hoping that we have a good game here. We can get to see really
even
the coordination.
So far in this tournament today, we've just been seeing a lot of just one-sided games, and I don't know. I'd really like to see a really even matchup, and then someone just make one mistake and just be able to show that one mistake means the entire game.
It really can.
Maybe that one mistake was their bans, because they let the Nunu slide.
That could be it. Nunu, very, very powerful, as we're seeing.
He's so annoying. He doesn't have that much farm. He has 2 kills, yeah, whatever. But it's just the fact that he has so much control. He has so much control of the map. Now they're coming in. They're going to find... is it going to be a 3v2? 4v2. Now Shen comes in, get the taunt onto Nunu, stopping the absolute zero. Lux comes in as well, popping the Lucid Singularity. And now Thresh is there, putting the box down, making it so everyone can't leave as fast as they want to. Shen picks up one onto Singed. Lux throws the ultimate out as well. So Shen in onto Tristana. Elise is cut out by Nunu and finally goes down. So it's a 1-for-1 so far in favor of really no one. And now Lux is going to be finally taken down as well. That is a kill for Karthus. He hasn't even used his ultimate yet. He doesn't even have a reason to actually. Actually, he probably could have popped it on Nunu. Nunu was quite low, but maybe he just, in the heat of the moment, wasn't really realizing this. And this was actually a 4v5, and it was a pretty even trade. Yeah, they did lose the fight, but Cogman the entire time is splitting down in that bottom lane. He's going to be farming up quite a heavy load and putting down a good amount of damage onto that turret. Hook lands in on the Blitzcrank. They don't want to engage onto that. Blitzcrank wanted to hook the minion, ladies and gentlemen. He messaged me before the game saying, 15 minutes, 40 seconds in, I'm going to hook a minion. So.
Very, very. Of course, Blitzcrank staying to his word, obviously, if that's what he did say indeed. Shen, of course, pushing the farm out near the top lane. Hopefully, he's most likely going to try and get back revenge for losing that first top turret. He's going to.
He did in that last fight. He killed Singed.
He's going to most likely try and go and get that turret.
I do like the Singed Shen matchup because it's very interesting to see who's really going to play that split pushing role better, because both Singed and Shen are probably the #1 split pushers in the entire game. You see a good engage coming in. The stun was landed on the Nunu, but he's just too fast. He's just going to wobble on out of there at his super high movement speed. Like I was saying, they're both probably the heaviest split pushers in the entire game. They're always just up in a lane, top or bot, doesn't even matter. Mindlessly, not even paying attention to the rest of the map. There's other teams just saying, alright, people left. Tanky. Like, it doesn't even matter to them, really. So it's interesting to see that Singed is winning this one. I've seen Shen's win it. I've seen it's gone both ways. But Singed seems to be the more powerful one because just his team in general is doing well. So he has a good amount of a gold lead as that stands just from the 3 turrets that his team has, as opposed to no turrets that SOI has.
Singed knows that Elise, Tristana, and Thresh are coming around. He's going to try and engage onto this. Singed, of course, landing the cocoon from the Elise, but he is just so tanky, he's just going to be able to run away from this, basically. He does throw in super adhesive. He is going back into this 1v4. Is he crazy?
He's stalling out the team, so he's stalling out their team so his team can pick up Baron. I liked what happened.
Dragon, actually.
Dragon, sorry. I liked what happened there. Shen taunted, missed. Elise used her stun, hit, but Thresh was throwing out his hook. He was leading the shot. So if Singed had kept walking, he would have got hooked, but he threw it out so it went in front of Singed because the stun stopped him. It was kind of a silly thing, a little misplay there.
It was to ensure that Singed was going to be caught by something.
Yes.
If he did try to dodge the hook, he would have been hit by the cocoon, and of course, if he wasn't hit by the cocoon, he would have been caught by the hook.
Yeah.
And you can just see Singed, he's just healing up, basically.
He just healed back up, and he's just like, I'm going to chill back up here. There's no reason for me to leave, really.
He's doing just fine up in the top lane. Even after that one before, like you saw, he was running back into the fight. He was like, wow, I'm really able to tank these guys. I'm going to go back in.
At least finding out Blitzcrank is in the jungle. They don't have a lot of damage there. Finally, Tristana and Karthus go in the fight, and that is when the damage spikes up and they're able to pick out the support. So good catch in favor of SOI. They finally catch someone out, but then they realize the dragon isn't even up. They need to push some objectives now. They don't have that catch factor of Blitzcrank on their team. They're going to pick up their own blue buff for once in their life. But they don't have that catch factor on the enemy team. They need to go and push some objectives, and they're not. This is the chance.
This game is all about objectives in the end. You know, it doesn't matter how many kills you have.
It doesn't matter your gold lead. It matters who gets that Nexus first. That's all that matters. And if you're getting a huge lead but you're not pushing objectives, you're eventually going to lose. Karthus putting down the wall just to see if Lux is coming around. He's getting that vision, and as soon as Lux comes in, they ping to go back. So that was a really good move actually from Karthus. Instead of using the wall just to slow down Nunu, he used it for impending vision, because he knew someone was most likely going to be roaming around that direction.
Making sure that they don't have
See, now Blitzcrank is back up, and they have that hook factor. So if they go to try to push any objectives, and Blitzcrank shows up at that turret, he's going to be able to pull someone under the turret. So that's really bad. So if Blitzcrank wasn't up, they should have just gone to push the turret, because they don't have that get under my turret factor, except from Singed, but that's pretty obvious when that's coming.
Thresh as well kind of had, of course, not as strong as a get under my turret power, but it can definitely be enough. When he pulls you under, flays you towards it, and then has the box to throw down, it keeps you under there for quite an amount of time. And of course, you're taking damage from the rest of his team as well. So it's a huge worry for any one particular team member of either side, really, with Blitzcrank as well.
Taunt coming in on the Singed from Shen, pulling him under the turret, making him take about 3 turret shots. Singed doesn't even care.
Doesn't do much at all, really.
He doesn't really care that much. He knows that my ultimate's up. I'm just gonna pop that if it's needed and I'll run away. So I've got my ghost up in a couple seconds and whatnot. A good amount of damage coming in on Thresh. The ultimate wasn't used there from Lux. Singed is gonna proxy the wave, but he's got more people coming up to help kill Shen. So Shen is forced to taunt away. Getting out of there nice and quick. Tristana was taken very low from Lux, it looks like. She did use her ultimate on that one, wasn't able to pick up the kill. Not going to completely just pop her out instantly, but that's just okay, because now they're able to pick up their 5th turret of the game with no opposing takings of any turrets. The hook does not land, at least not doing really any damage. You just saw Sheer put on a Venomous Spider onto 2 members, and you can't even tell that it ever hit, so...
SOI
is not that big of a threat
right now. Pressure that's coming down from LZH is incredible right now. They don't even have that much of a higher damage output. They're just tanky enough to be able to, or it's not necessarily that they're tanky. Of course, Singed is obviously tanky. He was 1v4ing earlier, but the damage from SOI is just not enough to be able to keep LZH away. So they can just keep pushing, and they can get down these turrets. They can just keep applying so much pressure everywhere around the map, and they have map control.
They don't have like a big burster on their team except Elise, but they took Elise out early in that game. That's what's really good about them. They took Elise out early. Karthus is going to slowly burn you down with his Qs. Tristana is slowly going to burn you down with his auto attack. They don't have someone like Lux who's QE ult and you're gonna die in like a hit, or if you're not already dead. Or even Kog'Maw, who can put out a bunch of burst with his ultimate and whatnot. So they just don't have that burst factor, because that was Elise's job, but Elise isn't even, she's not big right now. She's very far behind. She hasn't even built any AP items, so there's no burst coming out, so there's no, if they catch a hook, there's no really following that up, and like you said, they can just tank out whatever damage comes out from SOI, so it's just, there's I don't know, they need to catch out a really long hook. That's what I'm saying. Like they need to. Yeah. The catch that they need isn't just like, oh, we caught you, you're dead. It's, we caught you. Want to get in my van? Like
we have to work for this kill now still.
Because your enemy team can show up. It's not like we catch you out and you're dead instantly. It doesn't matter if your team's there.
Yeah.
So that's just.
The hook is merely to engage now. It's not necessarily giving yourself.
That Lux ultimate looked a little bit glitched to me.
To me, it looked like it was gonna hit that Karthus, but I suppose not.
Karthus is invincible. So, ladies and gentlemen, pick Karthus. He is a freeze on this.
Whenever you want, actually. It's just kind of random. It's based on a random number generator.
Based on Lux's ultimate.
Only sometimes though. There's like a 1 in 7 chance.
Yeah, I've actually noticed that though. That's why I actually stopped playing Lux, because that happened to me all too often in solo queue. But you see a hook coming in on the Nunu. I don't think that's really the target that he wanted. They're gonna burst down this turret quite quickly. Kog'Maw doing a lot of damage. Another combo is caught in on the Karthus. Karthus is forced to flash away as Singed goes in very quickly. Singed does still have his teleport up, so if he decides to go split push another lane, he could come back very quickly. Karthus, I don't think has used his ult once this game.
I don't think he's really felt like it could do much. Of course, that little bit of extra damage is always nice to have either in the beginning or the end of a battle to kind of, give a good idea of can we take these guys down or not. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I kind of see where he's coming from, where
usually
they just don't have enough.
I mean, SOI last game was really, really good at making plays. You saw that. They were diving top at level 3. It was pretty good plays that were coming out from them. You didn't see that this game. And I feel like that's what Karth Assault is for early game. Is when your team is making plays in another lane, you don't have to be there to help them make that play. You can just be like, 200 damage.
Going back to the bans that we're seeing, you know, kind of the awkward, like, unorthodox bans coming down, I think that might be a large downfall, you know, to SOI, because, you know, they did have, like, the weird bans. It was, like, Karma, Galio, Heimerdinger. So, I mean, you know, if they picked, you know, just kind of
if they got that Nunu out of there,
I feel like standard bans.
They would have a really, really good shot if they had that Nunu out of this game, and I feel like that would have been one of their standard bans, because that's what they banned out last game.
Think about standard bans you usually see at low elo, like solo queues. You see Malphite, Alistar, Shen Malphite, Nunu, Amumu. Okay,
yeah.
Let's just say those 6. And if you just picked 2 of those, Blitzcrank, Nunu, there you go.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost half of LZH's team, and that's 2 of the people who are really causing a lot of disruption to go down on SOI's side. And that could have changed the entire game. You know, SOI could have the advantage right now.
And this game is more mindset than anyone really thinks it is. And so, yeah, they came in with a really good mindset, but it wasn't the healthiest of good mindsets. It was, we're the best, yeah.
They did so well last game.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised.
I feel like they were just came in a little bit too cocky, and they should have just. You need to treat every game like you're gonna lose, or like there's a chance that at any instant you can lose. Not like, oh, I'm gonna lose this. You want to be positive, but you need to respect the fact that any time you can lose. Just like when you're like in a storm, you just gotta respect the fact that you can strike. Hey, yo, world, please.
YOLO, basically.
All right, we're gonna Please let me say that again. Hook coming in onto, it looks like Blitzcrank there. Again, not the person that Thresh wants to hook. He's been hooking on to Nunu, Blitzcrank. He's not hooking onto the carry. He's not getting any good catches, really.
Yeah, we did see Kog'Maw was able to take away that red buff, though, from SOI's side. And, you know, that's going to give him a lot more damage potential now, especially with that slow. So it's going to be very tricky. And, of course, if he does use his ability slow as well, it's... whoever gets caught in that's going to be in big trouble. They're going to be pretty much on lockdown,
right?
For the duration of that red buff. And of course, you know, if Blitzcrank there as well, Lux, of course, with a long range Singed. If it's a team fight, you're going down. It's almost guaranteed now. Whoever's being focused by that Kog'Maw, and of course we see Singed. He now has that Banshee's Veil, so...
I just want to point out here, every single summoner spell except for Nunu's Flash is up right now in this game. So if there was a better time to have an all-out fair team fight, it would be right now. Hook coming in onto Elise, she's going to repel up into the air. Probably just going to prevent her death a little bit longer, but she does burn her Flash. Tristana ults half the team away. So her Flash is down now. But most of the summoner spells are up. There was a really good chance for a fair team fight there. Everyone had their ult, everyone had their summoner spells. It was the one time there was going to be a fair fight. Now you see Shen haunting Nunu under the turret. He's actually taking quite low. So this could be a good time again for SOI to take back this game under their inhibitor turret, because they can't let this inhibitor turret fall. If they do, there's just going to leave too much open for their base, because you can't just defend an inhibitor when you're this far behind. You need a turret there to be the 6th man on your team.
Basically, when you're falling behind this much, that's pretty much the only way, honestly. But, you know, I think a lot of what's happening, really, is SOI has that Karthus. You know, they have the possibility, and actually we do see a bunch of pressure going down on that Singed. Nunu being able to pick up the turret, though, however, in mid lane.
So Singed just got like 1v forward, and then he just turns around and is like, alright, you guys want to fight? I'll fight. And he actually did a good amount of damage in onto the enemy team, Elise and Thresh. Taking low Elise from the Lux, actually, so... Lux's ultimate is back up, though, so he finds a pick on pretty much anyone except Shen. I would say that could be a potential kill.
As I was saying, you know, Karthus has all that power with his ultimate, but he's not using it. You know, we saw a lot of summoner picks coming down from LZH, you know, with nice rocket jump coming out from Tristana, and actually see a lot. Shen going in with his taunt, but not quite wanting to engage. We saw a lot of summoner picks from LZH going towards that Karthus, you know, with a lot of barriers and a lot of shields from them, but they're not being used. And now we get to use them for engagers like this, and we can see they're just taking down everyone. There is the Karthus, so we can see it picking up that Blitzcrank kill. Perhaps
Does pretty much nothing to anyone else, though.
Perhaps he's in the mindset that he has to only use it for kills, which is definitely a possibility. For all these shields, though, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, there's so many shields. The only reason that Blitzcrank actually went down there, he was not in range from that luck shield. He tried to get in there, but he was too low. He'd already had his mana barrier procced. So
now that there's the inhibitor down, we see pings going for the top turret. Will they pick it up?
Statistic from LCS: 97% of games are won by the team who takes down the first.
97%. Wow.
Yes.
See, there are games where it goes back and forth,
yes.
but that's actually a good thing to say because when you take down an inhibitor, of course, your other minions get increased damage.
Yeah.
They get
your lanes
stronger.
start to passively push.
It makes it that much harder for whoever loses.
But at the same time, though, it quote unquote inhibits the team who takes down the inhibitor from getting a lot of farm because their minions are going to be taking a lot of the farm. I know just you have to outlast the C. And so if your lanes are passively pushing, it's a lot harder for you to go out and get all that CS. So sometimes it is an advantage for teams who are really good at turtling, and if they get stronger late game. But this team is kind of late game comp a little bit. They have that late game Karthus Assault, but that has to go really, really late game as it stands because he's really, really weak now. And they do have the Tristana, of course, who has her Infinity Edge. She's building towards a Phantom Dancer, almost got that one. Hook doesn't land onto Thresh, but
we saw 3 wards going down from
they're all gonna get
SOI. Yeah, we did see them all gone now. They were 3 wards just side by side in the Baron pit.
Singed has only used his teleport, I'm pretty sure, once this game. And
he hasn't had to need to. He can just walk around and do whatever he wants, and he's
so mobile, just so fast. He can
tanky as well.
Yeah, he's
we
so
saw
mobile and so
Kog'Maw
fast
picking up that dragon as well.
He can
increasing the gold lead even more.
As I was saying,
it's at a 12k gold lead.
As I was saying, the Singed is just so fast a lot of the times. If he's just running one lane over, teleport's not even worth it. It's really just for those Baron engages or a completely opposite lane engage where he really needs to get there now, and there's not like a second or two wait that he can actually be there. But if it's just a lane over, it's really easy for him to just pop his ghost and run on in there and just be a nuisance like he usually is. Karthus is finally going to put it down his wall and maybe going for a little bit of engagement. No, he's actually going to be caught out and most likely going to be burst down. He does get a shield, but it's not going to be enough. Pretty sure that was that. No, that was not the Shen ult. That was just a big shield. I don't know where that even came from. But that was his Seraph's Embrace. Yes, Seraph's Embrace plus Thresh. Yes,
most definitely. And with Karthus now out of the equation, LZH is going to be able to pick up a second inhibitor quite easily. Of course, we see a little bit of pressure coming in from that Elise and Shen, but it's not going to be enough to keep them away. They are just probably going to rotate down now to this bottom lane. Singed to be able to pick up that last inhibitor turret, and they're most likely going to be able to just punch down this last inhibitor. And this might be a good game right here as it stands. They are just walking in. They took down that Karthus, and now SOI's in huge trouble.
Onto Kog'Maw, but I don't even think if Kog'Maw gets hooked at this point that it's really going to mean anything.
They're just going to use it as another engage, really.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh, you're going to engage onto my Kog'Maw, we're going to flip your entire team inside out. Thresh does, or Shen, excuse me, lands a taunt onto 2 people. Right now the Nuke ultimate is going to be laid down onto a lot of people with the Lux ultimate coming across the same number and doing oh my god, tons of damage. And now the Karthus Assault is going to be coming out a second time, a double kill for Nunu. He picks up another one onto Shen. That is a 3-0.
I think that's enough damage that really needs to be put down. They're just they are a little low, but we do see the surrender coming down from SOI and LZH being able to pick up that win in the semifinals, and they'll be moving on.
Congratulations to LZH. We will be moving on as soon as possible.